Just a quick 5 minutes, can you hear now? I can shout. A quick 5 minutes to set the scene for why we're all here tonight. I've now been Lord Lieutenant for 4.5 years, and within a few months of becoming Lord Lieutenant, it became very clear to me that as regards the voluntary sector, it was a very tough time indeed. That was 4 years ago. Now it's even tougher. And I'm looking at those of you from the public sector and the commercial sector, and my goodness, it's tough out there for all of us now, isn't it? And so I had this germ of an idea that perhaps we could all help each other out. I am not after money. This is not a fundraising session, so you can all breathe a sigh of relief there. But I do believe in the 3 sectors that I've mentioned, commercial, public and voluntary, that we can learn a lot and contribute a lot to each other. Let me give you examples of how I'm thinking. One of the big shortages in the voluntary sector is of trustees and patrons and people to actually head up and get involved in the governance of the charities. Now, trying to identify a trustee can be quite tough for the voluntary sector and charities themselves, but I guarantee, and I've already spoken to one chap from Hayes in Crawley who said, well, we might be able to help here. I guarantee that those of you in the commercial sector and some of you in the public sector are thinking as I speak, well, there's so-and-so in the HR department who might be a very good trustee or patron, or failing that, who might be prepared to give a couple of hours advice to those running charities. A lot of the commercial organisations also have premises, no matter how modest, that some of the voluntary organisations would actually kill for. Just a couple of hours, a modest meeting room to have their board meetings or their meetings of senior personnel once every 6 months. And I'm sure, sitting in this audience, there are some people who think, well, we've got a shed out the back there that we can let up or let them have for a couple of hours. In terms of expertise, charities law now is very complex, as you're all aware, and it would really help if some organisations could think, I've got a big legal department, I've got a finance department, I've got marketing, I've got procurement, I've got fundraising in some cases, and perhaps you could share some of your skills. I'm not talking about half a whole-time equivalent. I'm talking about perhaps offering one of your senior people for a couple of hours. I keep using that couple of hours, which is really my benchmark, to go and give advice on the accounts before they're audited. Just look through and see if they're okay. On the HR front, on health and safety, perhaps a bit of training you might be able to contribute or throw in. Now, this isn't just a one-way street. I really believe that, of course, the voluntary sector potentially will gain from this. I also believe, and I've been a businesswoman all my life, I do believe that the public and commercial organisations who might get involved, no matter how modestly, and I fully understand that everybody will be a bit wary of what I'm suggesting at first and put their toe in the water perhaps, but the people who do get involved, your staff, potentially will grow themselves. And this can only be a good thing. Not least because they're growing in confidence, they're involved in their own communities, which then comes back to your company or public sector and infuses the rest of the staff. And in terms of, and I'm sorry to sound so businesslike about this, but in terms of addressing your corporate social responsibility agenda, this would help without really costing you much in terms of time, people, and certainly no money. So the idea today isn't to ask you to commit anything. It's really to start this idea going and to hear from all of you, the voluntary sector, how the others might be able to help, other sectors, how you think you may be able to help without committing yourselves at all. So it's ideas. We can't do this on our own. Liz has spearheaded this throughout the county now, and Alan Tate, Derek North, Chris, Daphne, and one more, I'm sure there's one more, and my deputy lieutenants who, Neil Hart, are the deputy lieutenants who've really taken this on and run with it in Crawley. Can't do it myself. But between us, and Carol Haywood, another deputy lieutenant who's just walked in, between us, I do think that we can make a difference, no matter how modest. So I'll finish there because we've got some workshops that we'd like to hear from you at. I hope you enjoy the next couple of hours. If nothing else, I hope it will be a bit of food for thought.